Hey guys, this is Hot Noob here. Today I'm going to be going through binary code with you. The thing about binary code is, like the name suggests, it's a code. It's not an actual language. It's just like binary or Morse code, right? Longs and shorts, ons and offs with binary. It's not in the same encoding as a Morse code, but the concept is very similar. In binary code, rather compared to Morse code, rather than it being in the output being in letters, it's actually just numbers, right? So binary code is based on powers of 2. So you got 0 equals 0, right, and 1 equals 1. So 0, 1 is equal to 2. And how that works is you go 2 to the power of 0 equals 1, something like that, and then 2 to the power of 2 is equal to 2. You notice these values here, so I'll just put this in a table to make it easier to see. So 2, 4, and you pretty much just double it here. 428. So just going to put the zeros here. So I've made a table here, and these values are values of of it if you place a 1 in it. So let's try getting a number. Let's say 200. So you say 128, so 1. So we go 200 minus 128 equals 72, I think. I'm going to get a calculator just so I don't make a fool of myself. So 200 minus 128, 72, okay. And the next highest number is 64, so we put another one here. 72 minus 64. So 72 minus 64 is 8. So now the value is, the remainder is 8, so we put a 1 here. Now let's say this was 201, you put a 1 here, right? Because you can't subtract without going negative, that is. You can't subtract 4 from 1. So right now, this is actually written backwards because when you're reading, you're not actually going from right to left, you're going left to right. Or whatever. When you're reading numbers, that is, or whatever. Just whatever. It goes backwards, just trust me on it. So, for this number, you just go 11001001. That's equal to 201, and then 200 is just that. Hopefully you get what I mean with the whole reversing part. And I'm just gonna show you something here. It's gonna make a lot of people go crazy or whatever, because they finally learn why 255 is this magical number that's the max, or whatever. So if you add all of these up, this makes your max value of 255. So for hexadecimal, 2f's equals 255. Now does this make sense now? Why are there only 8 zeros and ones in a set? It's because a byte contains 8 bits. There are also multi-byte numbers and so on, but generally the sets are set at 8 bits. On your 32-bit processors, it still is using 8 bits. Same for your 64, it's still based on the 8 bits. The only difference is for when you get to multi-byte data is the difference with your processors anyway. So I'm just gonna pull out an example here. let's say you're working with letters. If you're using single bytes characters, the A is actually equivalent to the number 97. You can easily get this number through programming, and yeah, you should probably know that anyway. So again, you just start off by making your table 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 120, 64, 128. Place your zeros. Whatever. And so it's 97. Next highest is 64. 97 minus 64. I'm just going to use a calculator so I don't get it wrong. So is equal to 33. So next you have 32, making it 1. So your number becomes 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So just a tip. Although when you're writing binary by hand, you usually put a space in between them to show that it's a set. In reality, the binary code has no spaces because there are only zeros and ones. And for the noobs who think that binary could be made better if it incorporated other numbers into it, the reason for it being 0 and 1 is just it represents on and off. 0 being off and 1 being on. In a CPU, you have your frequencies, and this is actually determining how often, or what determines a 0 and a 1, like how often they go. I'm not going to go into detail of the frequencies, but what's going to blow your mind is IP addresses are having a max value of 255, and they're just 4 bytes combined. That's all an IP address is. So I'm not going to do the math for it, but in theory, this would be the large IP address. I mean, the biggest and the smallest IP address you can have is that. Right, so just for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This would be the max possible IP address, and this would be the shortest or the smallest IP address. Right. And that's pretty much binary for you. What it has to do with hacking is it's just, you gotta know it, otherwise you won't necessarily understand what you're doing if you don't know the simple basics behind it. And just for reference, MSIL, which is the .NET language in your EXEs, it uses bytes, simple bytes, and they represent commands, and this is where it becomes a code, right? I don't remember exactly because it's been a while since I've worked on my .NET decompiler, but it could, but a command, let's say, I don't know, 200 could mean equal add, and let's say 201 or whatever is equal to stlock, which means store location. So this is just basic MSIL, so store lock, I don't know, 1 or whatever, 0, 0, crap, I forgot the one. Let's say the current stack has a value of 200, so store lock, sorry, whatever. So you just, whatever, just ignore that. I won't bother teaching you guys MSIL, but I'll just show you some of it. So I'm just going to quickly show you what I mean by MSIL. This is an IL disassembler. It It reads the metadata to get the functions, and then the functions are defined by those small bytes. Just gonna go quickly get a simple project. Whatever. Just gonna use this. This is a pretty simple program. So yeah, just drag and drop. Get your manifests, your embedded stuff, and here you can go to the function. So this would be the main function, right? So this one here is LD string, meaning load string, and each one of these commands or whatever is represented by a binary or a byte value. Some of them are multi-byte. As far as I know, there's only like 255 or whatever. I mean, there's only like 500 or so different possible commands. So, an example, I don't know if I have a simple example in here. Doesn't look like it, but how binary code works is it calls each step. As you can see, it's very simple, and there's pretty much no possible way to literally insert binary code. So those whole rumors and shit about how AI is going to take over the world because they understand binary code so well or whatever is a fucking load of crap. There's actually no possible way to say send a whole bunch of binary code and have it somehow change your computer. The way hacking works is you send usually your binary code, and you try to go through the functions, the higher level stuff, not the actual binary code of the program, but what the program actually does, and you try to bypass the security. So yes, there are situations where it is impossible to hack into something. For example, with MySQL, you send in a single quotation mark, and it can completely fuck up your queries. Anyway, I'm not going to go into detail with SQLi injections or SQL injections, so I'm just going to finish here. This is Hot Nude. Come check out my blog.